Hello, this is a video about our house, the Ross House, built in Glencoe, Illinois in 1915. It's one of 6 houses that were built in the Ravine Bluffs subdivision. We're lucky to have a Wright house on either side of us and one across the street. They're called the Keir and Kissam houses. The Ross house is about 1,800 square feet, including the porch. Originally built with 4 bedrooms and 1 bath, we have rehabbed the house into a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath home. The Ravine Bluff subdivision was a tract of land subdivided into 30 parcels. Frank Lloyd Wright was to design all the homes, and Jen Jensen was to do the landscaping. Wright's office designed markers at the corners, a bridge, a train station, and other improvements for the subdivision. So 4 initial homes were built in 1915-1916, followed by Sherman Booth's own house, as well as the Ross house, officially titled House for Lot Number 16 in Ravine Bluffs. The Ross house is based on Frank Lloyd Wright's design published in the Ladies' Home Journal called A Fireproof House for $5,000. It's made from wood framing, stucco, and cypress, and originally had a wood shingle roof. We spend a lot of our time in the summers on the back deck. I'm very proud of it. I designed it and built it myself. I recommend that if others are considering building a deck, they think about a big bench where we spend a lot of our time. It's 4'8" in size and very comfortable. Sometimes I think our dog Truman enjoys the bench more than we do. Like most Wright homes, the entry vestibule is very small, but then it opens into the expanse of the living room. We installed insulated storm windows on the inside of the casement windows for better insulation during the winter. The wood used in the house is called sweet gum, which resembles walnut, but it's a little bit softer and easier to work with. The fireplace has a poured-in-place concrete top used over a brick that was used in the Sherman Booth house as well. When viewed from the porch, the living room has this kind of nicely composed arrangement of piers and masonry and lighting. The kitchen we designed and installed because the original kitchen had been removed years ago. We fabricated the kitchen from the same sweet gum that is used in the rest of the house. The porch, which was originally open, is now enclosed. We raised the ceiling in the center to follow the underside of the joist to give it a little bit more vertical space. Otherwise, it would have been 7 feet tall throughout. We designed some windows that are kind of gigantic bifolds that can be fully open during the summer with an exterior screen fabric so that we can more or less have the house appear as it once did with an open porch. During the winter, these windows are closed, and it's a nice quiet spot to spend our evenings. Pretty scary, isn't it? This is how it appeared when we purchased the house. All the exterior stucco had been covered with a drive-it-like material. The trim had all been painted purple, and a large addition built to serve as an entry vestibule. We stripped all the windows down and put in the new stops that were drawn according to Wright's original design, and had the drive-it exterior coating removed by sandblasting. Here we have the installation of the geothermal wells. There were 6 of them driven down to 100 feet. And we installed solar panels on the south face of the roof. We also put on the original stucco color and finish in the same way as the original. It was sprayed on, which was quite innovative for 1916. Here's the house as it appears today, with our prairie growing in the front yard and native plants. We'll run you through some before and after pictures. Here's the backyard and the back of the house before we started. There was a very strange deck that was built without access to the interior. We cut a hole for a couple of new doors to be installed. As you can see here, the upper windows needed a little bit of fixing and rearranging in order to work properly with the plan. The interiors required a great deal of work. Here's a shot of the living room. When we first started, there had been some terrible attempts at refinishing the wood, which we later accomplished. The plaster work, we decided to save rather than filling up a dumpster. Installed insulation in between the 2x4 studs with cellulose, and then put a new float coat of plaster on top of it. Here's some shots of the porch before and after, and the kitchen, which I think we could describe as colonial when we first started, and the final product. Now, what's interesting about the Ross house is that all of the houses for $5,000 had the chimney and fireplace dead square in the middle of the house. But Wright wanted to explore an idea that he had some years after the House Beautiful and set the fireplace over to the side and create a more asymmetrical elevation. His son Lloyd, was the project architect for all of Ravine Bluffs. And it's interesting because you can see on our drawings the idea of Lloyd drawing up what his father was telling him to do, and then Frank Lloyd Wright modifying those drawings to get it to be a design closer to what he had in mind. So it's a fascinating point in time and in Wright's career. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Ross House. And we also hope that you support the Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy. They've been a great organization and done so much for the preservation of Frank Lloyd Wright's buildings. Thank you.